philosophy, there is something called the law of unintended consequences. This is a situation where a purposeful or a deliberate action ends up achieving the opposite results. Now, I would wish to speak on the political landscape where we've seen a lot of scenes playing out, especially recently, where we are seeing a Jubilee purge, and we've also been seeing a lot of schemes and counter schemes that have been happening since the end of 2017 elections. Now, a lot of you have been asking me, is the president deliberately or unknowingly campaigning for the deputy president? This is in the light of the events and actions that have been seen to have been taken by government, which have originally been seen to be actually meant and intentional to curtail the ambitions of the deputy president. And surprisingly, with all those actions and schemes, the biggest beneficiary of those weaponries have been seen to be the same person who is being targeted, the deputy president. And if you see from just after the 2017 elections, there seems to have been a very deliberate plan or a decision to attack the deputy president politically, to be able to curtail him and slow him down towards 2022. And every action that has been done and every scheme that has been meted against him seems to be even making him more than destroying him. And it's quite a surprise, and people are asking, if this intention that these actions are actually directed at destroying the deputy president, why is it that it looks like the person who reaps the benefit at the end of the day is the same person that you are trying to victimize and actually target with his schemes and decisions that the government is making? If you can remember, I'll want to outline a few happenings that have happened since 2017. And I also try to analyze the present situation, especially the ouster of Aden Duale, the Ruto leader, during the PG meeting. If you can remember, in 2018, just immediately after the 2017 general elections, there came a term called Tanga. And actually the intention of what word Tanga was kind of to disparage the deputy president, and it came directly from the president, who was seemingly seen to be somehow disgruntled with the operations and the mannerism in which the deputy president was actually acting or actually delivering his mandate as the deputy president in government. There seems to have been a view from the government or from the government operatives around the president that the deputy president somehow was playing over his powers as the deputy president. And there came the coining of the Tanga phrase, which, in my own opinion, and from how it was delivered, it was supposed to be negative. It was supposed to brand the DP as a man who is roaming around without intention. A few years down the line, 2 years down the line, today, Tanga is not a word of shame. It is a tagline that has been actually owned by the same people who they were directed against, and that is the group of the deputy president. It is now a tagline for those people who are supporting the DP's political ambitions. So if you look at it keenly, you realize that the word and the coining of the word Tanga did not achieve the results that was intended to achieve. It was supposed to negate and actually disparage and brand the deputy president as a man who roams around without a plan. But today it is a political tagline that has been owned with a lot of pride. So Tanga failed on its face, It was supposed to make Kenyans believe that the deputy president is moving around without intention. But again, today, it is a word that has become a political coinage and has been honed and possessed with a lot of pride in the political cycles. This is a term that has almost reshaped and redefined the political landscape in the country. Then came the issue of the deputy president launching government projects. And the people surrounding the president, or actually the president himself, somehow felt like the DP was taking advantage of the government launching of government projects to advance his 2022 political agenda. And the president rushed and convened a cabinet sitting where he decided to form a committee that was going to be in charge of government projects. And guess what? The man who was appointed to chair and actually head the launching and running of government projects was Fred Matiang'i, who was at that time fitted and seen to be the super minister, the super CS as he was. Today, Matiang'i is an adult. We cannot count or talk about the projects that Matiang'i has been able to launch since he was given the responsibility of overseeing government projects. We cannot hear of a success story that the government has been able to outline since the formation of that development committee that was tasked specifically with launching and overseeing government projects. Every time we talk about the government projects we talk about projects that have been launched earlier by the DP. You've not about projects that Matiang'i has launched. You've not heard about the progress that Matiang'i has made and this development committee. Now, there was another deliberate act, an intention to actually brand the DP as corrupt, and came on its own heels, was scandalizing the projects that were happening in the Rift, including the Aurora and Kimorel dams. There came a conversation and accusations that public money had been misappropriated in its billions. We talked about over 21 billion for Kimorel and Aurora dams. We victimized and they branded the DP as a man who had the money or oversaw the corruption in Aurora and Kimorel dams. The other day, the DPP and the DCI, actually they have been weaponized against the DP. They've been tasked with the responsibility of hunting him down and doing all those corrupt scandal brandings. The other day, the DPP on national television, K24, exonerated the office of the deputy president and laid the blame flat face on the president and the Ministry of Finance.
Aurora and Kimorel was the national project. It's not about the deputy president. It's about a national project that was applied wrongly. It was about commercial loans that were taken to the detriment of Kenyans.
Right.
It has nothing whatsoever to do with the deputy president.
So it came to fall apart.
Thank you.
The story of the fact that Kimorel money, the billions of Kimorel were taken away by the DP or was misappropriated by the DP, died on arrival at that time. Now there was the issue again of Waiguru. There was a time when Waiguru was a darling. There's a time he was coming out and he was actually being seen to be a figure that was going to rise and probably be the next kingpin for central Kenya. She was seen to be a very vibrant politician. And at some point I remember he was fitted as almost the guy who was going to be the running mate for Deputy William Ruto. And when Waiguru left the DP's camp and went to Capitol Hill where she was sanitized, there came a campaign which was run by Waiguru that was supposed to discredit the deputy president in central Kenya. She started working with government operatives to ensure that the DP does not get the support from central Kenya voters. And actually, he was being branded in central Kenya as a man who was against the development and the improvement and the movement and the growth of central Kenya. And for Waiguru to achieve the intentions that he wanted to achieve, she went there and recruited one man called Kibicho. Kibicho went deep into central Kenya, especially Kirinyaga, launching projects, disparaging the DP, holding public rallies where you were speaking negatively about the DP, and actually Waiguru was part of those entourages. Today, it is Kibicho who is seeking for Waiguru's head. The frustrations that Waiguru is going through in Kirinyaga has been run and funded by one man, Kibicho, the same man that Waiguru wanted to join hands to finish the DP. Today, it is Kibicho who wants to finish Waiguru in Kirinyaga. Every strategy that has been done, actually, that's supposed to stop the DP, has actually propelled him in many, many big ways. Everything that has been seen to have been structured to work against him has come out as a strategy that has built him in many ways. So, and there has been a lot of questions, like when I started is that many people are asking me, Gerald, could the president be campaigning for William Ruto unknowingly? Or could there be a deal between the president and the deputy president that he wants to play with the minds of the other guys and give him power? I had people asking, could it be serious that the president has actually decided to finish his deputy president? But again, if all those statements are true, that the president is very keen on actually curtailing and fixing his deputy president, then why is it that every other strategy that has been seen to be functioned and engineered against the deputy president has ended up building him? Now we come to the present of what is going on in the political scenes. There are a lot of guys who have been whipped and removed from government that have been seen to be supporting the deputy president, with the only crime being that they are supporting the deputy president. The latest victim today was Aden Duale. Aden Duale has been a firebrand supporter of the government's agenda in parliament.
said it many times in the media that I believe if Kenya will not transform under your leadership, it will never.
At no single point have the government complained about the conduct of Aden Duale. He has been a firebrand and almost an abrasive supporter of the president's agenda in parliament.
And the standing ovation that you were given in parliament since independence. Your father was not given, President Moi was not given, President Kibaki was never given a standing ovation.
Today he has been sacrificed on the altar of political expediency by the same guys he has been supporting. And the crime is a friend of the deputy president.
But you were given a standing ovation by all parliamentarians from all the political dimension 3 times.
The other day we saw the ouster of Kithure Kindiki in the Senate. And the only crime that was accused against Kithure Kindiki was the fact that he was supporting the president. Every senator that rose to speak say that, Mr. Kithure, we are not sacrificing you or we are not oustering you because you are not capable. We are not oustering you because you are not qualified. We are not oustering you because you have not been able to conduct the business of the Senate in the House effectively. We are not oustering you because you are not capable as a man. I mean, we have not, all the reasons, so we are not. But we are oustering and sacrificing you because it's a political decision that needs to be made. And when you talk about political decisions, it was the only reason, the fact that he is a supporter and actually a friend, or he has been seen to be associating with the deputy president. The same purge has gone on to National Assembly, where we've seen a lot of members of parliament losing seats. The same way we saw members of the Senate also losing seats, with the only crime being that they associate with the deputy president. Now, if you look at these numbers, you will realize that they are very significant numbers, as much as there is a form of intimidation. And I've actually been able to speak to some politicians, and they are saying that we have to lie low now for this thing to pass. When the day comes where we need to rise, we shall rise. And when you look at the numbers that are being punished by the system or being punished by the government, it's not a number that you want to ignore. And if at all you realize that in politics, someone will have to move from point A to B. When you think about Duale, the way he is, the political might is it that he controls in northeastern Kenya, you cannot underrate him. Clearly then, it means that you have victimized the people of northern eastern Kenya. And in politics, when people feel oppressed, they don't respond by being meek, they respond by rebellion. So every other person that has been seen to have been ousted will rebel back. And the only way they'll rebel is that they'll move to political formations, which means then they'll fully move to supporting the deputy president. And it keeps the same begging question that if the president really wants to finish the DP, there is no way he can be giving him such political privilege in terms of manpower. We are already talking about the formation of Jubilee Asili that you saw the other day. It went like flames in the bush, in the savannah. Everyone was talking about Jubilee Asili, including the guys of Keleweke, including the government operatives. They were talking about Jubilee Asili. And Jubilee Asili is not even a registered party. It was already causing flames and ripples across the political scene. Now, if in a situation where these guys are going to rebel and they're going to move fully to the side of the deputy president, then it means the president is in problems, is in trouble. And when we look back, if you look at the reasons that the president is using today to justify the kind of decisions that he's making politically, de-whipping people and punishing all these other people that are seen not to be supporting the government agenda or thought not to be supporting the government agenda, it is the same strategy that Kibaki used in 2005. In 2005, Kibaki, after losing the referendum on the change of the constitution, he lost against 3.5 million. He garnered 2.5 million, while the no guys garnered 3.5 million. Kibaki was a frustrated man. And Kibaki fired the entire cabinet and even suspended parliament. And when Kibaki came out to speak, he said that he has decided to restructure his government to make it more cohesive and to deliver to the people of Kenya. It was the same excuse. The same excuse that the President Uhuru Kenyatta is using today, that is punishing the people he's punishing, is bringing in opposition into government to make government more cohesive and to deliver on the agenda of Jubilee, or actually his agenda, to the people of Kenya. If you realize that Uhuru only has one term to go, I mean, 1 year to go. It's almost 1 year, less than 2 years to go. The agenda, the Big Four agenda, is dead. So I feel the same way Kibaki was frustrated by the fact that he could not deliver a constitution and made him to sack all the ministers is the same reason that that Uhuru was today. Now, what happened in 2005? When Mike Kibaki sacked the whole cabinet, those are the same guys that regrouped. They regrouped towards 2007, including Raila Odinga, the people the likes of William Ruto, all the other guys who had been kicked out of government, or actually had been kicked out of government and fired from ministerial posts. And those are the same guys that they grouped and gave Kibaki a serious headache in 2007. If you're honest with yourself, you realize that actually Raila Odinga won elections in 2007. If not only that Kibaki stole. If you remember, the swearing in was done at night. So technically, the winner of 2007 general elections was Raila Odinga. And he won because every other person who had been frustrated by Kibaki went to his camp. You know? So the same thing is going to happen today. As we head to 2022, every other guy who has been kicked out of government is going to regroup and form a very formidable team. And the team is the one that is going to give any other person who still wants to run within the Jubilee outfit a run for their money. I can guarantee you that. So I think Uhuru, in his own intention to finish William Ruto, is building him in a big way. Every other person that will feel aggrieved and actually oppressed by the government that is running will have to regroup and go and support William Ruto. Duale is going to now go fully into politicking. He's going to go to DP's quarters. Every other person, Kithure Kindiki, you cannot underrate him in Meru politics, is going to join the DP fully. Every other person who has been ousted from either National Assembly or the Senate is going to regroup, is going to rebel and regroup in the DP. Is going to regroup and form a very formidable team. And the team is the one that is going to give any other person who still wants to run within the Jubilee outfit a run for their money. I can guarantee you that. So I think Uhuru, in his own intention to finish William Ruto, is building him in a big way. Every other person that will feel aggrieved and actually oppressed by the government that is running will have to regroup and go and support William Ruto. Duale is going to now go fully into politicking. He's going to go to DP's quarters. Every other person, Kithure Kindiki, you cannot underrate him in Meru politics, is going to join the DP fully. Every other person who has been ousted from either National Assembly or the Senate is going to regroup, is going to rebel and regroup in the DP's section as we head to 2022. So I want to say this, the law of unintended consequences is very real. As much as the president has had all the intentions to clip its DP towards 2022, or to control him towards 2020, or to slow him down towards 2022, it has only served to even give him more power. It has served to accelerate his ambitions more. And even every ground that you go, you realize that the people are siding with the DP because he's getting their sympathy. People are saying, well, that this guy is being targeted, is being oppressed and harassed. What crime did he commit? There's a lot of sympathy around. So if you ask me, I think, and I'm almost pretty sure that the ground and the people and the voters are almost going to sympathize with the DP, courtesy of the oppression that is being pushed against him by the government that he was elected into. So I want to tell the president that as much as he has the intention of punishing this guy, the law of unintended consequences will give him a really rough time. The law of unintended consequences will continue to flip the results from the results that he desires to the results that is going to build the same person that he wants to finish. And I want to say this, the law of unintended consequences is going to build the DP more than is going to destroy him. Every strategy, every scheme that is going to be used against him will flip in terms of results. The results will be pro-DP. So, ladies and gentlemen, the law of unintended consequences is real.